Hi guys, I just wanted to share with you my new scrap room. I am so happy about it. As you can see, I am in a completely different room and I just want to show you. Hang on. Look, I have windows. 2 of them, not 1 but 2 windows. I am living the dream here, folks. So I am going to show you guys my room today. I just finished it, and basically I took all of the stuff from my scrap room in the basement. I had a very large scrap room in the basement, and I took it all up here on Monday. All of the contents of my room came up here, including all of these cubes and all the cubes everywhere else that you see. It all came up here on Monday, and then yesterday Scott was off and he put up my pegboard, my Making Memories Embellishment Center, my bulkhead with my lights and my camera, and also this shelving unit right here on the wall. Basically, he installed everything that's on the wall, including that pegboard over there as well. So then today I came up and I just did all of the finishing touches, including hooking up everything electronic in here. It took me about 3 hours just to move all the electronics upstairs and figure out which cords go where so that everything works. And so I have tried everything. All 3 printers in this room work, and so does my microphone and all of my webcams and cameras, and everything works. So I'm so happy that everything works. The only thing that doesn't work is my Cameo, and that is because it's not hooked up to anything. It does work, but it has power, but I will be hooking it up to my laptop because it doesn't reach my computer. What I'll do is I'll give you a quick run around my room, and then I will go into more detail. So we have, this is the door that you walk in right here. I just have the door closed because my daughters are watching TV in the next room. Then I have these 2 cubes that have my scraps and my Cameo on top. Then I have this lac bookshelf, which was already in the room, and it has this hole in it, which we put that hole in when this room belonged to our international student, and he had a hanging, clothes hanging thing that went through that, and I don't remember exactly why, but anyhow, this shelf has a variety of things. I'll kind of go through and show you everything in a few minutes. This is another 2 cubes that house my giant printer. It is the Pixma Pro 100 by Canon. And then I have this huge bank of 6x3 cubes, and then a whole bunch of stuff on top. And then we have another lac shelving unit, and this one is filled up with printers and sewing machines and things and punches and more stuff. And then we have my desk. This is half of my desk from the basement. I had an 18-foot desk downstairs, and this is just one piece of it. Obviously my room is not big enough to have an 18-foot desk, but this is going to do me just fine. I have some mists and stuff and inks on the pegboard. I also have my camera thingies hanging there. I put my microphone on the other side of my lights, which basically there was only this one hole in my desk, and so I had to put it there. Underneath of my desk, I have some Jetmax cubes. I have 4 cubes under each section that has cubes under it. So there's those ones, and then these ones, and the one in behind faces that way and that way. And then there's just a little place down there for cords and stuff. And my desk is set up differently. It's kind of similar, but I have my computer at the back of my workspace so that I can actually, you know, do computing right here. I didn't have enough room in this room for a separate workspace and computing area. And I wanted to keep this area clean because it will be kind of like my overflow work area. And also when I have a friend come over, they will sit there. And so my Making Memories Embellishment Center had to be hung over to the side like this because of the way the studs are in this room. And then what's really nice is that instead of being on like a long, like instead of sitting in the middle of a long table, I'm sitting at the end of a table, which means that on this wall, I can have some shelving units that house and hold some of the things that I use the most. So I have my 2 sewing machines, my typewriter, my die cut machine, my baby wipes, some stamps, some letter stickers, pens and pencils, and behind me here I have my 2 Razcogs. This one holds my thickers and die cutting letters, and this one holds my stamps. And so that's what my room looks like just at a glance. And now I'm going to do a much more detailed tour. So I'm going to start right here. As I mentioned, we have my Cameo on top. Then these are my scrap drawers. I do store my scraps in separate drawers sorted by color. And I know that this is not the best use of real estate, but I do have a lot of these drawers, and even in this smaller room, I have enough room to do this. So I thought about trying to collapse down into 3 drawers or 6 drawers, but I ended up keeping the 9 drawers for my scraps that I always had. I really find that I'm much more likely to use my scraps when they're sorted by color like this. As you can see, I have lots and lots of scraps. All of these drawers are pretty full. And I just sort by dominant color. So I have my green, blue, purple, pink, red, and orange and yellow right there. And then on the other side, under my printer, this is a Pixma Pro 100 printer, and it's a large format printer. It actually doesn't work right now. I can't get it to print large format. It'll only print 6x6, which is kind of useless. But anyhow, I guess I'll maybe get it fixed at some point. This is just an empty drawer that I don't have anything in yet. And then this is office supplies. So one of the things that I give up when I have my desk like this is that I don't have a drawer under my desk, like where my computer goes, for me to put like office supplies and stuff. So I have my office supplies just tucked into here. It includes just like Post-it notes. I have some makeup for when I do live stream. I have really shiny skin, and paper and pens and lots of stuff like that. These are my little, let me see. These are just the things that go in these labels. And then this is just a print up of these. Oh, hang on, there you go. So these are the little checklists that I do for making my process videos. And I don't do all of this stuff anymore, but that's just the checklist that I'm using. And then here I have my gray, black, and white scraps, my brown and beige and cream scraps, and then these are multicolored scraps. And for once, I have a spot to keep my, oh, sorry about that. The windows are going to make this video very challenging, but I have a spot to keep my flash and my umbrella, which is some of my photography gear that I use for taking pictures of my layouts. And I also keep my camera right there. So what I skipped was this red shelf. And so I'll show you what's on it. Down here, I have a plastic container that has all of my stencils in it. So I have a smaller plastic container that has all of my small stencils. So as you can see, I've got a whole bunch. Some of them were coming in Scraptastic kits for a while. Then I have a ton of eye stencils. iStencils sent me a ton of stencils that I have to review. Some of them are these badass stencils, and they were so generous to me. They offered to send me some, and I picked a few, and they sent me like tons. I was so impressed, and I can't wait to use them, but I just haven't had a chance yet. So these are all of my larger stencils, including some of the ones that I made. So I just keep these right here for mixed media or for scrapbooking purposes. Then in this shelf I have my camera, and then I have one of these Cropper Hopper folders, and in the Cropper Hopper folder I have all of my, in the Cropper Hopper folder I have all of my Cameo cutting mats, my Pixma mat, and a couple of other things like the silhouette paper. I have a thing here that just shows me all the fonts that I have on my computer, and then back there is just a little wicker basket that has Cameo accessories, including like scrapers and spatulas and some of the pens and stuff that you can get to go with your Cameo. Then this shelf here is where I'm going to keep current kits. Right now I have some stuff from Scrapbook and Cards Today that I haven't opened yet, so that is going to be an upcoming video. And then I just have 3 pull-up dolls here. And nothing on the top. I do plan to put something on the top, but I just can't decide what. Maybe I might move the dolls up there. So now let's talk about this wall right here. I think what I'll do is I'll go through shelf by shelf, or cube by cube. Right here in the corner, I keep my extra tall stool. I am pretty short, so I need an extra tall stool. And then everything here, these are white foam board that I use for taking photos of my layouts. And then I have some tri-art palettes here that I use for mixed media, and another piece of white foam board that I use for taking photos of various things. And then this is just an extra work mat that's pretty beat up. It's my old one. So let's see what we've got here. Here are some things that I don't use all that often. I have borders, so anything long and thin, so mostly border stickers, but also things like these wood veneers and ribbon and things like that. Then this is tabs and doilies. It's really just doilies. It used to be tabs and doilies, but now it's just doilies. And so I just throw them in a drawer, and yeah, it's fun to kind of go through it and look for the proper doily when you need one. And then these are my brads, and also just like little findings and stuff from Tim Holtz. And I keep my brads in these little bead containers. Oops, it's falling apart. These are really old containers from a children's beading set from Costco. And what I do is I put these little pieces of foam that come with the brads. I cut them up so that they fit in these little compartments. And then I stick the brads in it so that they don't get all shuffled around with their legs up, and I can see what the brads actually look like before I choose them. It just makes it easier for me to see what I have. So my brads and findings are all in that drawer there. Now, next one over has rub-ons. So these are all of my rub-ons. I love these Tim Holtz rub-ons, so I bought a ton of them. I use them not as rub-ons, but as kind of like a background. I use them messily on purpose. I have a bunch of old ones that are probably expired. Then this is where I keep vellum. I also keep acetate in here. And so I have a variety of different, pieces of specialty paper, vellum, and so on. Then in the bottom drawer is where I keep my texture. As you can see, it's kind of popping out. These are various like mixed media things that I was doing just to test and demo things. I have some Tassimo paper here, which I love embossing Tassimo paper. So I have some plain here as well, and burlap, and just things I find around my house that I want to use for texture. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I also really love this crepe paper that Stampin' Up used to make. I have some of that too. Next one over, we have craft paint, and some of these got knocked over when I was just moving them, but usually they're all upright, and I like to put a little dab on the tops of any of the ones that don't already have a dab on them, just so that I know what I have. So that's my craft paint, and then more craft paint, just because they didn't fit in one drawer, and then heavy body paint, and just basically this is just like specialty paint. I have some of this from doll making and model making. And some James important Vicky Booten stuff. So next set of drawers. This is a set of 4 drawers. And this is sassafras stuff. So these are all mostly embellishments that Stephanie gave me, actually. A whole bunch. And then underneath are non-sassafras stuff that's just older. Then I have cards that I have made, all filed away here for a special occasion. Then I have photos that I have printed up and not scrapbooked for whatever reason. Sometimes I print one in color or in black and white, or I might print a couple of different options but only scrap one. So my extras all go in there. And then these are basically older embellishments that I don't use all that much, that I purged a whole bunch of things, but I wanted to keep these just because I really like them, and yeah, I didn't want to let go. So here we are moving along. You'll notice that this is a different kind of drawer. These are the new ones that they're selling at Michael's these days. They have this kind of a lip instead of that kind of wider lip. And they don't fit together as well either. So this is just a whole bunch of foam that I was cutting for, I was doing some shaker cards, and so I cut a whole bunch of circles and I just kept the foam. Then we have Traveler's Notebook stuff. This is mixed media and Traveler's Notebook stuff. I don't know what that is. Then we've got coloring supplies. So I've got like colored pencils and brushes, like brush marker things, and I don't know what all this stuff is. The little nibs that you use for colored pencils with Gamsol. Then we have some card blanks. So these are already cut cards that are A2 size, and also some envelopes, a whole bunch of envelopes there. This is my fuse. It's Lonely Self in this big drawer. I probably don't need a drawer just for my fuse, but that's the way it goes. Nouveau drops. These are Nouveau crystal drops. And then behind there are puffy paint and liquid pearls. Just all similar products to Nouveau drops. Then we have stickles and anything glittery. So this is glitter paint. I've got a couple pots of that. I've also had loose glitter in the very back, although I hate loose glitter, so I rarely ever use it. I keep my stickles upside down in a watch box, and then upside down in a watch box, and then I have this little sample sheet that just tells me what I have here and what the name of it is. All right, so let's work backwards. We'll zigzag our way along this bank. So here we have paper in these shelves right here. And this is mostly sassafras paper. I got a whole bunch given to me by Stephanie and a couple of YouTube viewers who know that I love sassafras. I keep my paper in these folders that I make, and I have a video on my channel that shows how I make them. I take a piece of chipboard, I put a tab on it using my tab punch. It's not really focusing very well, is it? Usually my phone is great for this kind of thing, but it isn't today. And then I just trim off 2 of the edges so that basically, hang on, let me show you. So this is intact and this is intact, and it just keeps everything in there so that if I have a bunch of scraps and stuff, it keeps it all intact. And then if I want to pull out just one collection, I can just pull on it like this and the whole thing slides out. It's really, really handy. I love having these little folders like that. So I have some basic gray collections here, Grand Bazaar. So see how I can keep the embellishments and everything in with the paper if I want to? I don't usually do that, but with Grand Bazaar, because it's so unusual, I just kept it all together. And then this is Urban Luxe. And then I have some Amy Tangerine. I'm not going to show you all of the paper that I have, but then I have this folder of what I call art paper, which is basically paper that I'd use for mixed media. Some of it is thinner, some of it is just not quite to my taste for scrapbooking, but I do like it for mixed media. And then this is kind of all paper that isn't really to my taste. Like this is a lot of Stampin' Up designer series papers, and then some themed summertime papers like Boardwalk by American Craft. I do actually like this, but it's just I don't use it very often, so I put it down here. Then we have a couple of sets of black and white paper from Felicity Jane, and some mixed media paper from Vicki Booten, or no, from James Davenport, and some little samples that I did just showing how different mixed media works with different other mixed media. And some of my favorite papers. These are designed by Irit Landgraf, and I just keep them separate from my other papers so they don't get lost. Then I have my cardstock that is arranged by Rainbow. I don't really buy cardstock, but all the cardstock that I have is stuff that came in kits. Although I do buy this kind of cardstock. So I have my white cardstock here, my craft and beige and brown here, and then my black and grays right here. And I keep them in these American Crafts folders that you buy them in. So this isn't all American Crafts paper, but basically I keep the American Crafts folders and store my paper in them just to keep it kind of sorted and organized the way that I want it to be. This is all specialty paper, and I have them in Cropper Hopper folders. So this is all just specialty paper, like a lot of this corrugated paper, this is washi paper. And then this is a lot of glitter paper, foil paper, textured paper, and just random weird stuff. And then this is all specialty white cardstock. So some of this is Copic, some of it is glossy, some of it is, I don't know, it's all stuff. Then we have a whole slot filled with Stampin' Up paper. We have these designer series like tone-on-tone patterns. I really loved those when they were, I don't think they sell those anymore, but I really loved them. And then I've got a couple of just different kinds of cardstock there as well. Then this is where I keep my backup white cardstock. So I've got 2 sets of American Crafts white cardstock and 1 set of American Crafts black cardstock in the wings, just waiting. And I also have some Stampin' Up thick Whisper white cardstock. So on to the next cube. The next cube has, this is basically like random stuff, like mostly chipboard that I get from kits, and also some really old Studio Calico bags from when they used to send their kits in bags. Then this has just office supplies like some stickers and labels and stuff like that. And this is some grid paper for when I design my room. This is more Stampin' Up cardstock, mostly just a variety of different kinds. And this is more Stampin' Up cardstock, mostly neutrals. Then this next cube right here has room for 3 slots and then 3 shelves as well, but I just use 2 slots and 2 shelves. So here I have all of my just fashion magazines and stuff that I cut up for mixed media. Here I have a jelly plate, my regular sized one, it's 10 by 8. I also have some color wheels in there, or 2 color wheels in there. And I have a smaller jelly plate as well, a circular one. Then I have rubber stamps in here. I don't really have many rubber stamps. I got rid of a lot of them. And then I have basics paint here in a variety of different colors. Mostly use that for jelly printing. Then moving on to this cube, we have, this was supposed to be 4 shelves, but I took out 2 of them so that it's just 2 shelves. This has my Spellbinders Diamond. It's a Diamond 6. What is it called again? I forget what it's called, but it's my Spellbinders die cutting machine. And then these are the mats that go with it. And then this is my Big Shot cutting mats. Basically, I really prefer the Spellbinders, but so I was going to get rid of my Big Shot, but I have so many accessories for the Big Shot. Like I have the magnetic plate and I have the shim and all kinds of extra stuff. So, and the extended platforms and stuff too. So I just decided to keep my Big Shot for now. Then I have my small typewriter, which is yellow. It has its case on it right now because I brought it to a crop. It's a Brother Charger typewriter. Then in this cube, we have 2 shelves and a cupboard. And so in the cupboard, I just have random card stuff, as you can see. Some of these, the things that you see in Ziploc bags, are bunches of card making supplies that I've already made cards with, but there's still lots left to make more cards. It's mostly Doodlebug stuff, and I just kept it for my daughters to make cards with. And then these are some Becky Higgins boxes that I just use as trays, and this one has some masks in it that I use for my jelly printing. And then I have some cutting mats here, a glass one and a non-stick, like a self-healing one. I have an empty cube right here and a mostly empty cube right here. This one has 2 bundles of supplies from Pretty Little Studio. It's Here Comes the Sun and Potpourri in these containers right here, or in these bags. Then this is mixed media stuff. I have some things like some tracing paper. I have, I don't know what that is. I have some carbon paper and disposable palette and some watercolor and various things in there. This is just stuff that I want to scrapbook. Mark making stuff. I'll show you what's in there. Just stuff that I can make repetitive mark making patterns with. And then foam stamps in here. I don't have a ton of foam stamps, but I have a few, so I can keep them in there. Then we have this shelf here. I basically obviously you can see it's supposed to have 4 shelves. I only have really half of a shelf in there. I just cut the shelf in half so that I could have my 6x6 paper pads stacked and in there. And then here is another 4-shelf unit. And in it I have I have a couple of packages of buttons here, but my buttons, I'll show you how I store most of my buttons. So these are my flare, and they're all just glued onto this thing. It's magnetic, but it's not actually magnetic. And then my buttons. Look at these buttons. They're so pretty. I love that. That makes me so happy. I love my buttons all sorted like that. I don't use buttons all that often, but boy, do I love them. And I've got a couple of sets of buttons that are in packages right now. Then this shelf has one little word stuff in it, which I haven't been able to do. My one little word is wellness, and I'm focusing so much on wellness that I'm not really scrapbooking about it at all. Then I have a bunch of chipboard here. I keep my sheets of 12x12 chipboard in this Becky Higgins tray, and then I keep my 6x6 chipboard on the other half of that cut shelf. So that's just a shelf that I cut with my saw. There's one half, and then the other half is in there. So that's chipboard. And now here we come to my paper. Yeah, so I store my paper like this by collection, and I keep each collection in those folders that I already showed you. So this is, what is that? I can't see. Summer Lights by Photoplay. No, by Pink Paisley. And so I keep them by collection like that, and then after collection I have a bunch of Studio Calico paper from a variety of different collections. This is old paper, but I really adore it. Love, love, love old Studio Calico paper. And then I have a section of wood grain and ledger paper. It's stuck, but it does come out like that. So this is all wood grain and ledger and whatnot, grid paper and so on. A little bit of matte paper as well. And then any papers that I have where I don't have enough to store it by collection, like I don't have enough of any one collection. I store it by color, and so this is black, gray, and white. This is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, and then multicolored at the very end. And what I do is I just choose my favorite side, and then I just sort it by the dominant color. So sometimes there might be multiple colors, like this one. I sorted it into blue because it's mostly blue, even though there's green and red on here as well. So that's my bank of cubes. I'll just step out so you can see it again. There we go. Those are my cubes. On the end of my cubes, I just have a little hook that hangs some non-stick mats. So I have 3 Heidi Swapped non-stick mats and one, I think this is by Basil. I won this from scrapbook.com. So on top of this bank of cubes, I store most of my mixed media stuff. So I will just kind of scan over this so that you can see. I have some brushes in a cup there. All of my gelatos are in this washi tape storage thing. And then below it are neutral gelatos and also just gelato accessories when you buy those kits and stuff. Then these are Ken Oliver Colorburst and Distressed crayons, and then these are Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus. I have a set of those, and then I have some oil pastels, some Prima water-soluble oil pastels, some watercolors. These are metallic watercolors, and then these are a variety of different watercolors. I have rolled up paper in that bucket there, and then I have, these are mermaid markers right here, and then these are watercolor pencils right there. Then I have some Prima chalk inks, and then some Vicky Bouton color sticks, or whatever those are called, art crayons, clear gesso, white gesso, black gesso, and matte medium. Back there, I think this is a setting spray. Yeah, Spray Fix. And some toothpicks and a water jug and just some random things that I use for mixed media. Then these are my colorless mediums. So these are just things that I use to add texture or for whatever mixed media that don't have colors in them. So I've got light molding paste, extra heavy molding paste. This is Claudine Helmuth matte medium. I have some slow dry fluid retarder. This is something for doll making that I had. A variety of different medias. Some clear gloss varnish, also for dolls. Some matte gel, and just a variety of different things. Then I have my Stampin' Up Color Caddy. I think is what they call that. And there we go. And up in the top, I just keep various like cleaners and stuff. My pegboard holds, this is a stencil cleaner, and then this is water. Though that's a basket filled with sequins. That is some Traveler's Notebook stuff. Those are blenders, that's more sequins. This is a palette for the Dr. P.H. Martin stuff and a water container. These are more blenders. I keep my paintbrushes in this tool pegboard holder thingy that goes onto pegboard, and I just kind of, they're too small for the holes, so they would slip right through, so I just put this underneath this drawer on its side with a little bit of shelf liner rubbery paper there, just to keep the brushes from slipping all over the place. Then this is all of my shimmers products that I have from various hip kits. I have vibes, or whatever you call those, and some creamies, and just a whole bunch of random shimmers products that I love, 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 so I keep them separate. Then in this unit right here, I have journaling cards, tags, and pockets, and as you can see, there are all kinds of extra oversized tags in the top so that you can't quite see, but there's how they're organized. So these are journaling cards, these are tags, and these are envelopes or pockets. Then we have enamel dots, a whole bunch of them left over from various projects. And then we have glitter tape and frames. Now in this red unit, at the top, I have my Alpha Graveyard. That's basically a freezer bin that I use to store old packages of thickers that I don't want to throw out, but I've used all of the usable letters, and so I just stick them in there for now. I don't know if I'll keep them or use them or what, but for now they're hanging out in there. Then that unit underneath of that just holds a whole bunch of planners from years gone by, mostly Erin Condren planners. Then I have my Copic markers up in that container right there. And then in this basket, underneath of the basket are all of my packages of printer paper for photo printing. And then in the black basket, it has bubble wrap and packaging and things that I could use for mixed media, for mark making for mixed media. Then I have my big sewing machine right there. I don't use it very often, so I just decided to leave it there. This is all a bunch of cropper hopper stuff that is empty. This is my washi tape storage thing. I don't use washi tape all that often, but I do have a fairly big collection. It's stored pretty high, but because you can kind of pull down the shelves like this, I don't mind it stored so high because I can actually see what's in it. I do have to sort these rolls that are on top of it into their drawers because I basically kind of go by the color scheme, like by the color spectrum. Then these are just big oversized things. I have a large jelly plate here. I have a 12 by 12 Misty, some grid paper for it. I have a Martha Stewart scoreboard, and this is my Wheel of Wonder for scrapping challenges and stuff. This is our household printer. It's not a photo printer. It's just an Epson Workforce printer. It's like an all-in-one thing. And then this is my Epson PictureMate Charm, which is my awesome 4x6 printer. Then some various papers and stuff. Then I have all of my punches just laid out right here. I keep all of my circles kind of together so that I can find the size that I need when I need it. And then I also keep all of my border punches kind of close together. I keep all of my hearts close together. I have 2 different butterfly punches. I keep them together. And so I kind of try to keep things organized in such a way that I can find the things that I need when I need them. There are 2 oval punches right there. And then also I have some handheld punches right there. Now down here I have a Creative Memories box that holds, not Creative Memories, that is Close to My Heart box that holds a whole bunch of Project Life cards from Becky Higgins, some art journals, and a traveler's notebook. These are all drawers that hold various Project Life supplies. It's not really very well organized. And then at the bottom is where I keep my clips, little paper clips and stuff. These are 2 drawers that used to be in a mixed media unit that I had in the basement, but the unit itself didn't come up, but I brought the drawers. This one has palettes, just anything that could hold paint, and then this one has texture and tissue in it, including, like, I keep this, so I keep tissue whenever I get it if I think it's pretty and I might scrapbook with it, but then this Ziploc bag is my texture bag, and it just has a whole bunch of random different texture things that I can use with paint or with mixed media to add texture to my project. So now we have my desk. So let's talk about what's above my desk first. I have a painting that my daughter made that's sort of covered, and then 2 mini albums that I made. I have 3 of my favorite pull-up dolls right there. I have all of my distress inks right here, and the way I store them is in this tray, and the tray, because I'm short, I want to be able to see them, so I put these dowels along the tray so that they could be kind of staggered like this. I don't have enough of the glue to really, anyhow, that's how all of my distress inks fit in this tray and I can see them at a glance which ones I have. I have a combination of full size and little ones, as you can tell, and I only have a couple of the markers and I just keep the markers right there. These shelves are just pieces of white melamine that are held, like put on my pegboard with these long pegboard holders, I guess. These are 2 valet trays that I use for keeping scrapbook supplies in when I'm working. This is my Crop and Create badge from this year with all of my Doodlebug pins on it. They're so cute. I love those. And then this is my shelf of Adirondack and Adirondack color washes and Glimmer Mist. And these are older supplies, but I have them out in the hopes that I will use them. These are 2 things that my daughter made me for Mother's Day. And then we have all of my mists. These are mostly Mr. Huey's and Heidi Swapp Color Shine. This is the section of the table for my guest. My guest will sit here. I have like various folding chairs that I can put there. And then I have my microphone. The microphone that I use for narrating my videos and also for my scrap chats and live streams is a blue Yeti, and I have a blue pop filter with it, and it's on a blue radium shock mount, and it's on a Rode arm, and the Rode arm is attached to a little hole in my desk, as you can see right there. And so it's just kind of clamped on there, as you can see right there. And that basically swings out and under my light and right in front of me here as I'm narrating and editing my videos. This is just a little tray that I use to keep my memory cards in. There's a little clamp-on light there for my cell phone. And then this is the cord that allows my pictures to be downloaded from my camera, from my DSLR camera to my computer. There are 2 phone holders right there. And the new thing is that my computer is on this part of my desk now instead of being at a separate desk. And so I can just kind of pull out my keyboard and my mouse when I want to use it, like that, but most of the time when I'm scrapping, it will be back there. I have my Martha Stewart work mat that I use here. Up high here, so one of the things that I love about my new setup is that my lights can be higher, which gives me quite a bit more elbow room and makes this space here much more usable. So it used to be that this light would kind of bump against this carousel, and like the tool caddy, and so I love that the lights are higher in this room, and that's just because the ceiling is a little bit higher in here. I don't have a ton of stuff on my Making Memories Embellishment Center because the light does block a good part of it, but I have some inks that I use. You can see some Mama Elephant ink, some Liquitex inks, some archival, and just various inks. This is Distress Oxides. I have some strawberry shortcake, like some vintage strawberry shortcake dolls that my friend Stephanie got me. Down here, I still have all of my roller stamps right along there. And then these are inks that I use often. These are my swatch books and tags and stuff. So this is all of my products that I have. And then these are mist swatches. Whenever I get a new mist, I just make a little tag of it so that I have a sample of what all my mists look like. And then these are the stamps of some of the roller stamps that I have that don't have the little thing like that that tells you what stamps are on it. My phone used to focus automatically, but it doesn't seem to do that anymore. So sorry that probably a lot of this is blurry. I can't see, so I can't tell if it's blurry or not. So I hope that you can see some of what I'm showing you here. Then I have just a little cup with my favorite pens in it, and then this is my Making Memories tool caddy. It has all of the tools that I use on a regular basis. Then right here I have, these are the remotes. This is the remote for the overhead light in my room, and then this is the remotes for my video lights. So there we go. So I can just turn everything on by going like this. And I keep my coffee warmer on the same remote so that when I turn off my lights, my coffee warmer also turns off, and that way I don't accidentally leave it on. I keep my two sewing machines here. This one is for white thread and this one is for black thread. They're half size small sewing machines and they're awesome. I just lift them and bring them right here. And then I keep the cords all down here. I keep it's already plugged in. I just plug that into the machine, and then the foot pedal is in there as well. What else is on here? So this is a pencil and marker caddy, and then this is my basket of small letter stickers, including all of my awesome October afternoon letter stickers that I adore. I have some mixed media stamps right here. I have a fairly big collection of these Prima ones that I really love, and also some of the Gina Wakely ones back there, and even some Vicky Booten, and then these are background stamps right here. I keep my baby wipes, and then this is just a small die cut machine for making small die cuts, and then my We Are Memory Keepers typecast, typewriter there. Up there in that basket are glue sticks for my hot glue gun, and then this is lenses for my iPhone as well as my DSLR and print packs. This is my Stampin Up Big Shot. And then this is a box of just like stamping supplies. So this is just stamping supplies. I have some foam mats. I have some Stampin' Scrubbers from Stampin' Up. I have a Stampin' Jig. There's some stuff for my Misty tool, a Stampin' Jig, and all that stuff. Okay, so up there, that basket is filled with seasonal things. So it's all Halloween and Christmas. That right there is my Grand Caliber. It's an oversized die cutting machine. I use it for making mini albums. This is my Zutter Bind It All. It's for binding mini albums. This is my wire jig for making wire shapes and letters. And then this is my Mint for making homemade stamps. It's all in there. Now underneath of this shelving unit are my two Raz Cogs. This one holds letter stickers, and I have a separate video that shows how I have my letter stickers stored in there. And this one has all stamping supplies and die cut and card making supplies, and I have a separate video all about that too. So now the last thing that I haven't showed you guys is the drawers underneath of my desk. So let's get started. Here I have all of my embossing supplies in this cube right here. So I have just brushes, and there's UD and black and clear and white embossing powders. And then this has re-inkers for my various inks, mostly Stampin' Up. And then this has sponges and blending and that sort of thing. Couple of re-inkers. This one has all my colored embossing powders because my black, white, and clear are all in these plastic Ziploc containers with a spoon for using it with. Okay, then we have foil in this drawer, and then we have felt in this drawer. This is my collection of Benzie Design felt, which I love. I adore that felt. It's so nice. It's very luxurious. I love the color. And then this is all watercolor supplies. So I've got a lot of watercolor paper. It's just a variety of different sizes and shapes of watercolor paper. Then back here, a tangle of cords and my backup power supply there. We have mixed media backgrounds that I've made are stored in here. And then these are all page protectors. And then this is more page protectors, mostly smaller page protectors. And then this binder here has a whole bunch of Becky Higgins page protectors. Then this has Christmas supplies right there. And then this has Halloween supplies right there. So these are in addition. So that's the kind of like the bulkier Halloween and Christmas. And then the flatter Halloween and Christmas goes up in there. So that's that. Now, this drawer has die cuts, and I sort my die cuts by color. So, you know, these are my orange die cuts, and so on and so on. And then some of them I leave in their packages, especially if they're still new or if they're kind of like very distinct, then I'll leave them in their collection so that I can find them easily if I need them. And then these are my favorite shapes. And so on the sides here, I just keep various puffy or chipboard or just plain stickers that are in my favorite shapes. So what I mean by favorite is kind of just versatile shapes that you can use on almost any layout. So I have hearts, I have flowers, I have butterflies, I have stars, and I have arrows. And so like these are my stars. These are all my arrows. And then I also have some arrow dies, so I just decided to put my arrow dies in here just so that all my arrows are together. Hearts. And, you know, you get the picture. And then more things just kind of, when they're on a sheet, I just store them kind of vertically like that. Then we have some packaging for my packaging technique, and underneath of the packaging is just more stickers that I haven't gotten rid of yet. I think I'm going to give some of those away or do something with them. Then I have my label maker. I have my Dymo type label makers. I have a whole bunch of those and a whole bunch of tapes, and then I also have my brother label maker and some of the cartridges, like refills for them. Then I have, oops, sorry about that, I have tape and twine in here, mostly twine. Yeah, so there's that. Now under here, in this cube back here, I keep my extra adhesive is all, so I keep a roll of paper towel, but all of my adhesive refills and stuff are in this container right there, in that like caddy thing. And then these are more extra supplies, mostly things like pop dots and tape runners and that sort of thing. And then we have some card kits. These are all card kits from when I was a Stampin' Up demonstrator and had like pre-packaged a whole bunch of stuff that's already cut to the right shapes and all that sort of thing for a card party for Stampin' Up. This is just where I keep cords and stuff. This is my camera battery charger, and this is the pedal for my sewing machine. This is the power cord for my sewing machine. I keep a power cord there that it's plugged in. This is recyclable paper. These are my little 6x12 bags that I use for, oh wait, this is my Spellbinders embossing plate. Then I have the cord and the pedal for my full-size sewing machine. I have some rubber gloves there, or not rubber, but latex gloves. And then I have deli paper there. I have my Stampin' Up trimmer here, my Creative Memories trimmer here. I have a little brush for sweeping and some wax paper right there. Okay, almost done. So, this last bank of drawers has my wood veneers. Keep them in those stackable containers. Then embellishments. This is just like random embellishments. More embellishments. Just kind of like anything dimensional that I don't want to store as a sticker. I store in its package or out of its package like that. Then these are all stickers. This is journaling stickers. And I store them vertically so I can just flip through them like this. I have some of these labels in this and packaged journaling tags and stuff there. Then these are just plain stickers. So these are stickers that don't fall in any of the other categories. So as you can see, just a bunch of stickers. Then these are dimensional stickers. So these are all like puffy stickers or layered stickers or chipboard stickers or whatever the case might be, rubber embellishments that are sticky and that sort of thing. And then these are words. And so I've got some thicker words here and then some smaller words, some like Tim Holtz chit-chat things. And what are these? These are more words that have more dimension to them. So there we go. And then there's just a bundle of cords there, including my 3 remote controlled outlets. I keep my heat gun right there, always plugged in, and then I keep my glue gun right there, not plugged in. So that's my room. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tour. I know it was a pretty long one, but I hope that you enjoyed checking out the way that I have my room set up in this new room with 2 windows. Take care and have a really great scrappy week.